Here we have a wooden surfboard ready for a hot coat on the deck using Entropy CLR Resin. I have the room temperature at 25 degrees Celsius and humidity at 43% relative humidity. We start by using masking tape to tape all around the edges to stop drips from creeping onto the underside of the board. We flip it and I use an organic extraction ethanol just to wipe the whole board down and remove any potential impurities, especially things like the oil from palm and fingerprints. We then use long strips of masking tape to gather up any rogue dust and debris. Anything that isn't supposed to be there can cause fisheyes or pinholes. Now we tape up the Sign Surf vented leash plug. Oh, that's satisfying. Moving on to the gel coat. This will be a super thin, sticky layer for the hot coat to adhere to. I only need a small amount of resin, around 30 ml will do the trick. Using a squeegee, we work the resin onto the board, aiming to get it as thin and even across the whole board as possible. We'll leave this for around 1.5 hours till it gets tacky to the touch. This definitely should not fully cure. I want to use around 200 ml of resin for the 6'2" board. This Entropy resin has a 100 to 45 mixing ratio by weight, and it's important to get it as near perfect as possible. We'll prep the brush now. I like to tape it up and give it a good rub up just to get any loose bristles out. We get all the resin on there. We need to move quick, but not so quick we introduce bubbles to the hot coat. We pull the brush on the diagonals to spread the resin out to the edges. And then, using just the weight of the brush, we do long pulls down the full length of the board to get that final smoothness. We now leave the board for about half an hour. And then, using a bright light as a backlight, we have a good look for any pinholes or fisheyes. Now is the perfect time to dab a little bit of resin on any problem areas using the mixing stick. Quick final check, and then we'll leave the space so as not to kick up any more dust than necessary. Hopefully, come back to a perfect job tomorrow. Here we go. This is my favorite bit, coming in and seeing this. That will work perfectly. Now the board has to sit for 7 days, followed by a 2-hour post-cure at 50 to 60 degrees Celsius for that final hardness.